Princess Aranthia of the luminous planet Valerian had always believed her world was untouchable. Their shield rings, massive orbiting bands of crystal plasma, had protected them from every threat in the galaxy for 5,000 years. But on the day the skies went silent, even the shield rings trembled. Aranthia stood on the highest balcony of the Starspire Palace, watching the sky bleed red as millions of tiny sparks, ships, pods, debris fell from orbit. Her voice trembled. "Mother, what is happening?" The queen's reply was a whisper of dread. "The Malrith have returned. The ancient enemy. The devourers of worlds. A swarm species that consumed energy, light, and life. They should have been impossible to detect. Impossible to stop. Yet suddenly, mysteriously, something was slowing them. Something unexpected. A single sniper shot had echoed across the void. A human shot. And everything changed. Chapter 1. The shot heard across the stars. Orbit above Valerian. The Malrith mothership crackled with swarms of writhing biomechanical creatures. Inside the wreckage of a human scout ship, Sniper Kale Rourke wiped blood from his brow. He was the last alive. He had one bullet left. One rifle, damaged but functional. And one shot at surviving long enough to send a final warning. But then he saw her. Through his shattered visor. Through the drifting debris. Through the haze of war. A figure bathed in silver blue light. The alien princess. She stood in an observation deck of her palace tower, unaware that a Malrith bore cannon, capable of cracking continents, was locking onto her world. Kale steadied his breath. "Damn, that's the air of this planet, isn't it?" The bore cannon gathered energy. He had one bullet. One chance. He whispered to himself. "Don't miss, Rourke." He squeezed the trigger. Crack. The bullet tore across space, slamming into the cannon's exposed crystal heart at the exact microsecond it opened. A shock wave exploded outward. The cannon collapsed. The mothership spasmed. The entire Malrith swarm recoiled. The princess, far below, gasped as the sky burst into blinding silver light. And then she saw the impossible. A tiny human silhouette tumbling from a burning ship, drifting toward her world like falling stardust. The bullet had saved her world, at least for now. But the sniper who fired it was dying. Chapter 2. The Princess Who Broke Protocol. Princess Aranthia wasn't supposed to leave the palace during a world crisis. But she couldn't ignore what she had seen. A single flash. A single shot. A lone human drifting unconscious through the firestorm. She turned to her guard captain. "Evacuation protocols are suspended. Prepare and intercept craft." "Princess, you cannot." "I said prepare it." Her voice had never held such fire. Minutes later, her personal skimmer roared into the sky, slicing through debris until she found his broken escape pod drifting over the upper atmosphere. She pressed a hand to the glass. Inside, the human lay motionless, pale, bleeding. She whispered, "You saved us, why?" The pod's thrusters were dead. Gravity was dragging it toward the raging storm below. Aranthia slammed her hand on the controls. Her skimmer's magnetic clamps locked onto the pod. "Hold together," she murmured. "Just a little more." The storm bucked the skimmer hard. She gritted her teeth. "I won't let you fall. Not after what you did." She jerked the controls. The skimmer rose, slowly, painfully against the pull. Her guards finally arrived in reinforcement ships. One shouted through comms. "Princess Aranthia, release the pod. We will retrieve it." "No," she replied fiercely. "He is mine." They had never heard her sound like that. Chapter 3. The Human Sniper Awakens. Kale awoke to warmth. Gentle light. A soft humming. And silver blue eyes staring at him. "You're awake," the princess whispered.
Kale blinked.
"Where am I?" "You are in the healing chambers of Valerian." His throat tightened. "Your world, the Malrith." She shook her head. "Your shot disrupted their collector network. They cannot breach our shields now." He exhaled slowly. "Good. Then I didn't miss." She hesitated, then asked, "Why did you save us?" "You were alone.
dying.
No one would have blamed you for running. Kale shrugged weakly. Wouldn't have mattered if your world fell. They'd come for mine next. And your people, your world, it didn't deserve that. Aranthias stared at him with a strange expression, something between awe and fear. You humans are different than the stories say. He smirked. Good different. Yes, she whispered. Dangerous different. The queen, Aranthia's mother, entered the chamber with the cold grace of a monarch carved from starlight. Her voice was icy. So, this is the human. Kale tried to sit up, but winced. The queen raised a hand. Do not move. The healing has only begun. Aranthias stepped protectively between them. Mother, he saved us. So, I am told. A single bullet, stopping an ancient force. It is true. The queen's eyes narrowed. A coincidence? A miracle? Or something more dangerous? Kale coughed softly. Just good aim. The queen studied him long and slow. You risked your life for a world not your own. Kale met her eyes. Someone had to. That answer unsettled her. Aranthias spoke gently. Mother, I rescued him. He is under my protection. The queen's gaze hardened. Your protection means nothing when the council hears of this. Aranthia's jaw clenched. They cannot harm him. They can, the queen said. And they will. Kale exhaled. Figures. Save the world, get executed. Aranthias stepped closer, fierce. No one will touch you. I swear it. The queen saw the fire in her daughter's eyes and was shocked. Aranthia had never sworn herself to anyone. That was when she realized the truth. Her daughter was changing because of a human. Chapter 5. The Council Threat. The Galactic Council convened. Whispers filled the great chamber. A human intervened in our war. He disrupted an ancient power. What if he belongs to a human military experiment? Execute him before he destabilizes the balance. The queen spoke sharply. He saved Valerian. A counselor slammed his fist. Or he endangered it with forbidden human technology. Aranthia rose, her voice cutting through the hall like a blade. Enough. Without him, we would all be ash. The counselor hissed, Princess, your attachment to the human is clouding your judgment. Attachment. Her pulse raced. The word rang through the hall. Every eye turned. Kale, seated in restraints, swallowed hard.
Great.
Now they think she's in love or something. The queen's gaze flicked to her daughter. Aranthia declared, the human sniper risked everything for us. I will stand by him with my life. Gasps rippled through the room. The counselor sneered. Then you condemn your throne. The human must be surrendered. Kale whispered, Aranthia, don't. It's not worth it. She turned to him, fire in her gaze. You saved my world. I will save you. Chapter 6. The Return of the Malrith. The ground shook. A deafening alarm roared through the palace. A soldier sprinted into the council chamber. The Malrith are regrouping. They've created a second bore cannon, larger than the first. The council panicked. They cannot. They should need weeks. No, the soldier gasped. They are adapting. Faster than ever before. The queen whispered, horrified. They evolved from the sniper's interference. Kale's breath caught. My shot disrupted them, but also taught them. Everyone turned. Aranthia's voice shook. Can they be stopped? Kale looked up.
Yes.
But only one way. How? The queen demanded. He swallowed. You need another shot. Aranthia stepped forward. But your rifle. Gone, Kale said. I'll need a new way to get close. And that cannon is shielded now. My bullet won't get through. Aranthia moved closer. Then you aren't going alone. Kale stared at her. You're coming with me? She nodded. I trust your aim. You trust my power. Together we might have a chance. The queen shouted. Aranthia, no. You are the heir. I am the heir, Aranthia said, which is why I must fight. Kale rose from his chair despite the pain. We go now. Chapter 7. The impossible strike. Aranthia's skimmer sliced through the sky, dodging Malrith swarms. Kale loaded the only weapon available, an outdated Valerian pulse lance. It won't pierce the cannon core, he muttered, but maybe it can weaken the shield. Aranthia placed a glowing hand on the weapon. Let me try. Her energy surged into the barrel. The weapon hummed, alive, empowered, dangerous. Kale stared. That was not in the manual. She smirked. We do not write manuals for our weapons. They burst above the atmosphere. The Malrith cannon loomed like a mechanical sun, monstrous and glowing. Kale steadied his breath. Aranthia whispered, I believe in you. Kale pulled the trigger. The shot fired. A spiraling beam of fused human and alien energy. It struck the cannon's shield. Cracks formed, spreading, glowing. But the shield held. The cannon charged, preparing to annihilate the planet. Kale's voice broke. It wasn't enough. Aranthia stood, tears in her eyes. Then I will finish it. She rose from the skimmer, floating into the air, her entire body blazing with celestial power. Kale shouted, Aranthia, no, your body can't withstand that much energy. She smiled sadly. You saved my world once. Let me save it too. She thrust both hands forward. Her light burst toward the cracks Kale's shot had made. The shield shattered. Kale fired one last time. The cannon exploded. A shockwave slammed them backward. The skimmer spun wildly. Kale grabbed Aranthia as she fell, her light fading, her body weakening from the overload. Hey, stay with me. Her voice was barely a whisper. We did it. Kale. Chapter 8. A New Dawn for Two Worlds. Back in Valerian, healers rushed to stabilize Aranthia. Kale never left her side. Hours passed.
Days.
Finally, her eyes fluttered open. He exhaled with relief. You're awake. She reached for his hand weakly. Our world survived? Yes, Kale whispered. Because of you. She smiled faintly. Because of us. The queen entered silently. She looked at Kale, not with suspicion, but respect. You fought for my daughter. For my people. You deserve our gratitude. Kale bowed his head. You don't owe me anything. But the queen shook her head.
No.
We owe you everything. She touched Aranthia's cheek. My daughter says you saved her twice. Kale murmured, she saved me first. Aranthia looked up at him, her eyes soft. You know, for a human you are extraordinary. Kale grinned. For an alien princess, you're pretty amazing yourself. The queen sighed dramatically. Oh stars, they're bonding. Aranthia whispered, Mother, please. Kale laughed softly. For the first time, so did the queen. Epilogue. One shot changed everything. In the months that followed, the Malrith retreated, Valerian rebuilt, and Kale became the first human honored as guardian of the Star Spire. But to Aranthia, he was simply the human who saved my world. She often stood at the balcony where she first saw his bullet streak across the sky, where everything began. One evening, Kale joined her. It all started with one shot, he said. She smiled, and ended with two lives intertwined. He stepped closer. Aranthia. Yes, I'd fire 1,000 more. She leaned into him, and I would catch everyone. The twin moons rose over Valerian as the princess and the humans stood together, symbols of two worlds that had nearly died and were now reborn. Together.